How's it going, everyone? Mitch here with another Logic Pro 10 tutorial. Today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the different types of tracks we can create in Logic Pro 10. So the first two, software instrument and external Midi, are going to be controlled by Midi files. The next one's audio, and then guitar or bass are going to be controlled by audio files. And then drummer is something a little bit different. You can kind of see there's a mix between both of those, and we'll get to that in a second. So the first one is the software instrument. So you have a couple options here. Multitimbral, meaning that if your instrument that you're going to be using on this track allows for a multitimbral output, this is nice. What it does is, if your instrument, say, has 3 voices that it's playing, you can select this 3-part multitimbral option, and then each one of those instruments will be put onto separate MIDI tracks. So that's what that means. That's all that means. You can select your output. You can even select your output device inside your preferences when you select this, and then you can choose to open up the library upon creation. Once I create it, boom, that's what it looks like, right? So if I create another track, what's the difference between external MIDI and software instrument? Software instrument uses a synthesizer here inside of Logic, a software instrument. The external MIDI is, and it's basically an external channel strip. You're creating that sound on an external hardware and importing that into Logic here. If I select this and say use external instrument plugin, I'm going to be doing it by a certain IAC bus. I'm going to have no input because I don't actually have a device input into my computer. But if I did, I would be able to select this. And then the output, normal. Okay, so I'm going to create this, and you're going to notice off the bat that this looks almost exactly like the channel strip of our normal software instrument. The only difference being this external input. And this is where we can specify a certain external piece of hardware being inputted on this channel. So that's really all the difference there. Alright, so the next one is going to be audio. So this is going to be, you plug in an interface into your computer. You can put in all of your microphones, your direct input guitars and bass and acoustic, and literally whatever you want or are able to plug into that interface will be routed into your computer and into an audio track. So you can open the library. You can have input monitoring being that will just start it up as input monitoring right off the bat. What that means is, when you say talk into a microphone that has input monitoring on, you will be able to hear what you're talking, what you're saying into the microphone through your speakers. So just be careful that if you're using actual monitors with a microphone, that you're not selecting any, or you're not getting any feedback, because that will happen. So be careful there. And then you can record and enable right off the bat. So I'm going to create this and just an audio track. Very simple. So software instrument and an audio track are the two you're probably going to be using most often. So that's something to keep in mind. The next is going to be a guitar bass track. And all this means is, when you enable this and create this, it's just going to automatically fill in your channel strip with plugins that you're probably most likely going to be using for guitar or bass. It'll open up your library directly to all of your guitar and bass presets, and I mean, it's just a good starting place for guitar or bass. Nothing different. It's just a more specific audio file. And then next is the drummer. If you haven't seen my tutorial on the drummer, go check it out. I will link you to that in an annotation here. But basically, it looks like an audio file, right? This track is actually not an audio file. If you drag it onto a software instrument track, it'll create MIDI from what you have selected inside of the drummer track, which is pretty cool. So just the thing to note there, that it looks like audio, but it's actually MIDI. So that's really all I had to show you guys today. Everyone, thanks for watching. Go take that survey in the description below to choose my next tutorial. Comment, rate, subscribe like a freaking badass. And I will be seeing you all very soon. Have a great day.